All right. Hey, welcome to Fan Art Friday. I'm Zach. I'm your host, and we are about to do some drawing. And I've got my iPad up on over here. I'm going to actually put this into full screen. So it just shows off my iPad and not a double shot of my face. Because, who wants that? So I'm going to turn. If you want to chat with me, awesome. If you're not, if you're watching this on the replay, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I usually do for fan art. I'm a working professional illustrator, storyboard artist, and cartoonist as well. So I make comic books. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I'll be drawing comics live on this channel. So if you want to dip in for that, you're more than welcome to. It's awesome. I usually have a couple of people in the chat with me, and we just talk comics. It's super fun. I'm working on a thing all about the Mothman right now, and he's a lonely moth, so that's what my next comic's all about. But then I wanted to do some fan art, and I love doing fan art. This is my newest one here. I did one of Rogue from the X-Men here, and I was just like, I have a much more of an animated style, but I still love making comics. So very much influenced from Batman, the animated series, and you can see I have all sorts of different pieces of fan art, little Metal Gear Solid there. But what I really, really love above so many other things is pro wrestling, the one true sport. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to try and first find my stupid wrestling stacks. I had to clean up my iPad, as you can see. You can see here, I have a little bit of storyboard art right there. So there's that. So all sorts of different styles of artwork I work in. I'm working on a book called Pro Wrestling Illustrated right now, and that is all about making illustrated. And for the life of me, I can't find my stack of wrestlers. Give me a second, because I'm going to go through a couple of them. Good lord. I should have planned this out earlier, but this is my first episode. Here we go, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So I have quite a few here. I'm just going to go through them. I started off just with a fun little pallbearer, and so I decided to put their, one of my graphic design styles is to put their last name in the background. Then I did Asuka, which she retweeted and upped on Instagram, which was awesome. This came out looking super great. Bryan Danielson. I do mostly AEW stuff, I'll be honest with you guys. Little bloody Jon Moxley, because you can't have Jon Moxley without blood. Kenny Omega. Toni Storm, before she became timeless Toni Storm. So we gotta do another one of her. Saraya. Ruby Soho. This one was a fun one to draw. A little bit difficult with those fishnets and all those damn tattoos. But I think it really came together pretty well. The girlfriend of the current person I'm about to draw, Britt Baker, DMD. Jamie Hayter, one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. Really looking forward to her coming back in AEW. Just one of the coolest. Rhea Ripley, Mommy. Again, just an awesome wrestler. This is Yuki Kamifuku, which is a Japanese Joshi wrestler. So I wanted to do some Japanese wrestlers, and that's the first one I did. And I did Riho, of course, after that. Then jumped into Miro. I really enjoyed doing this one and having the little shaky, the shaky line art for this one. He reblogged this one as well, or retweeted it, and man, I was super over the moon when that happened. Danhausen, of course. My favorite wrestler will always be Eddie Guerrero. Top of the list. A+, Eddie Guerrero. And then we have Rey Mysterio. Brock Lesnar. Probably be taking that one out. Sami Zayn, I just did recently. Kevin Owens. Mercedes Moné. Sheeta, which is the most recent one I've done. And when he died, I did a Terry Funk. And of course, recently I did a Samoa Joe as well. And then Aleister Black, or Malachi Black. So his tattoos were fun to draw as well. And I also did LA Knight. So I've got a pretty good amount of wrestlers here, and you'll see right here is I have Adam Cole, baby. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. Let's get into it. I'll show you a quick time lapse before we start of how I started this drawing. So what's really great about Procreate is that it's always recording. I'm going to tap on video. I'm just going to do time lapse replay. This should go pretty quick. Filling everything in there. And like I said, pretty quick. I spent 16 minutes on this so far. The point of doing these little fan arts is just to do something kind of quick and easy and fun. Something that's not laborious, but something that I can also, gain some awesome interactions with when I'm at conventions. That's what I really miss about going to conventions, is meeting all the different wrestling fans and just chatting it up with them and having a little bonding process. It's super fun. Yeah, what can I say? I love wrestling, and I love talking to people who love wrestling. The last convention I did was back in 2020, and it was the C2E2. And it was a pretty awesome one because, and that wasn't the last. I've done small shows, but the last big convention, I should say, was that C2E2 in Chicago. Like I said, and it was kind of cool because there was like a big, there was an AEW show one of the nights. The first Revolution show was that Saturday night of the convention, and then we also had the wrestlers there at the show walking around. There's a lot of wrestling at that show. It was big deal. I sold out of all my Eddie Guerrero pins, which I made myself, and those came out looking awesome. And I sold through all of them, so I'm really hoping to go back eventually here. I'm doing some research for a graphic novel and traveling this year, so I won't be doing many conventions. I applied for a few, and then I was like, man, you know what? I really wanted to do Staple in Texas, but it's coming up way too soon, and I really want to get this traveling done. So, there's that. I'm going to open up Safari. I was looking up the Seven Samurai there. And I always look up, their ring gear and what I'm looking at as far as, which is great, because a lot of times you get, these turnarounds of what their gear looks like, depending on, and this is great because I can see, no matter what this looks like on over the top here with the jacket, and I can change it up. And I can split it in half like this, but I'm probably going to get, the actual pose done first. Something I spend the most time on when I'm doing a piece of fan art is hands. I always want to make sure I get the hands just right. It's something I've absolutely struggled with over the years to capture. And so I want to get not only the hands right, but the folds of the jacket as well. So I've done mostly searching lines on over through here. And I'm going to switch to a 6B pencil. And I'm trying to go a little bit fast on this one so I can get to the inking process, so we can have more inks coming in. In fact, I'm going to start up that layer now. And head over to 6B land. Like I said, I don't put as much, these aren't to be laborious tasks. I didn't want to, per se, have this take hours and hours. I really want this to be something I can do within an hour and have a nice, YouTube video of it, and so people can come check out my channel, and then buy a book of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And I think I'm gonna be doing like, I really want to get back. I did Jovember a few years ago, and I was like looking at them, and I was like, man, these were super cool to do, but I want to do a whole other book of those. So, I'm definitely saving GI Joe for November, for some of that fan art. So, like, I'll probably do those within like a month or two of Jovember, and we'll try to hit all 30 different GI Joes that can be put on out there. I'm gonna grab that, make this collage. And so it's kind of tough, like, because it's like I'm not gonna draw the logos per se, because that gets a little laborious. I just want the whole, like, I just want the idea of him in a jacket, and there's a couple of different like things to draw in over through here, and I'll probably just get like the gist of it, just like with drawing, like, like Ruby Soho's tattoos. I was like, man, I don't want to, like, first off, I don't want to like steal from that artist, and second off, I just like I just don't freaking want to like draw tattoos. Like, whenever I'm like, man, this would be a really cool wrestler to draw, and of course, like, they have like 1,000 million tattoos, and you're just like, and it was funny, like, I was talking about that with CM Punk when I met him in that Chicago, and he was like, you got all the, like, the tattoos. I was like, yeah, they were a lot to draw, and he was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. I was like, no, that's cool, man. They came out looking pretty cool. So we had a fun moment over that. They say, like, don't meet your heroes, but, like, Punk was freaking cool to me, so I'm not going to worry about it all that much. So let's get some more detail down here, and the same, like, right over here. I'm just going to do the broad strokes of the gear, basically, like I was saying earlier. And I'll see if I decide to go any further with it. So I'm just basically like giving some highlights in here. Because it is a leather jacket. So I want a little bit of reflectiveness along with like the, what you call it, with those refined details. Them the refined detail, if you will, baby. There we go. So the lighting's gonna be kind of coming from behind him. I have now decided. I have spoken. So I'm just gonna like, yeah. There we go. And he has pretty normal boots, from what I can tell here. Not a whole lot to him. So our Adam Cole is coming along pretty well, and I can kind of make it up from here as we were to go. So I'm gonna make another long streak down here. And actually, I want to see one more detail. Whoa. Okay, so they are like laced boots. Cool. If you hear any crashing noises in the background, I have 2 cats, and they are being they just ate, and it's their time to play. What can I say? But my cats always make an appearance on my live stream, especially my young one.
And so, like, I'll probably at some point do some cat art as well too, because that's always fun, and it's always something that sells really well at conventions. Is something to do with cats will always bring people in. It's freaking awesome. It's great moneymaker as an artist. So if you're, and then when you get animal merch, like you'll get animal commissions, and it just steamrolls from there. So if you're looking to be a cartoonist and want to get out there in the world, do some animal fan art. You know, monkeys, cats, pigs, you know, whatever. People will come to you, and they'll be all about it. Plus, cats and animals and dogs are awesome, so why not? So I'm gonna open up my layers and put this layer down to about like 50% transparency and go up to layer 2. I'm really bad about naming my layers, unfortunately. Unfortunately, whatever. So I'm gonna go to what we have here is what I like to use is I've made a go-to. I have a lot of brushes that I like to use, but my go-to ones are the goated ones. So my goat of all brushes in Procreate is dry ink because I like to have like that anime style and animated look to my artwork. However, I also want it to be like, you know, it might look something originally done on paper. You know what I mean? So that's where I want to go with it. Let's do this. I always start with the eyes. I love drawing eyebrows. I think if there's anything that's like, you know, sets my artwork apart from anyone else is that I try to have the most expressive eyebrows I possibly can. And I love those eyebrows to like break out. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's get out of this real quick and let me find a good one that has like eyebrows that are just gonna go in everywhere. I don't know if I have one in here. But you see, like, you know, those pallbearer eyebrows are going over there. I like to draw them over hats and stuff like that when or hair, when the hair is blocking something. But I think everything is, for the most part, I even went pretty lean with or Rey Mysterio. So I'll have to find another example. But I love drawing eyebrows. Want to make him smiling a little more because it was looking like he was like, even though now he's the devil, I really wanted him to like, whenever he comes out, he always does that like the boom thing, and it's dorky, and I love it. It's a very dude thing. If you're not familiar with Adam Cole, he's a wonderful professional wrestler. And from what I hear, he's a super cool guy. I've never met him. He's on my list of wrestlers to meet, hopefully when I get back to doing more cons. I can go meet some wrestlers. Because that's always my favorite thing when I'm at a con and I'm like, there's a meet and greet for this wrestler, there's a meet and greet for that wrestler. Or whenever AEW comes to town, they have those meet and greets. WWE, not so much that I know of. I could be totally wrong. I could also be just like, I don't want to pay for that. Space is got a little bit of an. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing when you're drawing, when you're inking. There we go. So, like, this brush, great thing about it, it leaves, like, little grainy texture marks. So, it makes me feel like I'm, like, using my brushes that I used to use as a traditional artist. But it also makes me feel like, I'm still working traditionally in so many ways. And I got a great compliment once from J. Scott Campbell. He said, like, man, you can't really, it's hard to tell that you're working digitally. I was like, cool, cool, cool. That was a cool compliment. Let's give this a little up the brush there. And he has like really like stringy black hair, brown hair, I should say, not black hair. So I kind of wanted to like add lots of. I didn't want it to look like completely blonde here though, so I want to give it like a little extra. Like when I color it, it won't be blonde, but I just wanted to have a little bit more texture, a little bit more depth as I'm working on this. What does his hair look like? Let's get out and give it a little. Yeah, he just slicks it right back. See how? Yeah. So we'll work on that. Nope, don't like that. Give it a little bit of volume, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's looking better. Yeah, rock and roll. This is looking good. I wish I could be playing like his entrance music or something like that in the background, but I really don't want to get copyright killed on this channel anytime soon. But I do have some original music I'm writing to put as background music for this, so bear with me. I know it's a little quiet, and you might be able to hear those cats running around like crazy in the background because they are having a time. Let's up this. Here we go. Making jackets. And we'll do 3 lines here and 3 lines there. Like I said, I just want to get the gist of it. I'm not a realist by any means as far as like how my artwork goes, and like I'm a sucker for details. At the same time, I just didn't want to mess around with any logos or anything like that. I just want you to know that I want you to be able to tell that it's Adam Cole, and I think at this point, it's not going to be that hard to tell that it's Adam Cole. Baby. And no, I don't draw with an iPad cover, in case anyone's wondering. I am just drawing right straight on the glass, as it were. The lighter you go, it tends to have more of a papery texture, and I really hate the matte finish of a lot of those like iPad covers. So that's my rant that you didn't want to hear on that one. Sometimes these don't like at least too much grain and texture, so I'll have to go back in and clean it up a little bit. But then again, it's the same thing where it's like, hey, do you really need to be worried about that? And can anyone really tell? Depends on what size I'm printing these as. These are like, I'm working in 9x12 right now, but I don't think I'll be printing them at the standard like 6.5 by whatever comic size it's at. And I might go a little smaller since it's technically it's going to be a fanzine, so it might go a little bit smaller. Depends on what the printer costs. Like I said, I'm going pretty quick on this one. Excuse me. It's the middle of winter and my allergies are driving me up a freaking wall. So that's cool. Happy to have that going on. There we go. Baby. It's just, you just can't resist saying it whenever you're working on something Adam Cole related. It's just addicting. And there's my cat. Make sure you didn't screw everything up here. Looks good. Make sure, because I think he paused the recording. Sorry, friends. Oh my god. Stop. Sorry, technical difficulties. We're gonna delete that. Alright, we're back. Killer. Maybe? Alright, cool. Let me know if that's screwy for anybody. Here we go. He's looking pretty good. Little Adam Cole. Give him a little belly button. Make this a little larger. Get that thumb action going. Make this a little thicker. I think that thumb is ridiculously long. So let's edit that up. Nope, too stubby. Just perfect. Get these knee pads going. Let's see what it looks like without. And we're looking pretty good. Alright. I'm cold. I think his chest is a little cartoonishly huge there. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And his legs are a little anime long. But that's how I like to draw. So at this point, I'm just like really working to fill in all my blacks. So I can get the black and whites finished. And then start working in on the color. Oops, almost screwed that one up. Actually, I'm going to keep it like that. So we got them, for the most part, filled in now. Looking good. And pretty happy with what I got coming out here. So I could go ahead... I could go ahead and yawn during the middle of a broadcast. That sounds good. And yeah, we'll get this going here in just a second. With some more color. Now, as it comes out here, like, what I'm probably going to do is get the yellow for a color. Since that's his main background. And start to get the body color going after that. So I'm going to use Kevin Owens. This is my go-to flesh tone Batman the Animated Series color tone here. So I'll do another layer over that. Grab my glaze brush. And I'm noticing, I don't know if you're noticing this, but I'm noticing that this flesh tone really blends in and makes him look super white. So I'm going to just take this off. And so maybe what we'll do is we'll do a totally different background color. Maybe we'll do a blue or something, or green. And I'm noticing I forgot to do one thing, and that was draw his bootlaces. So good job, me. So we'll get that going here in just a few. I'll come back to those. So what I usually do is come around the outside edges and move in and around and on through here with flats. There's a couple different ways you can color, but with these, it's being fan art. I'm not too particular about empty spaces or whatnot. I said I'm just here to have a little fun in the sun. There you go, little Adam Cole. So as I'm working on this, the next thing I'll do is I'm going to do that yellow that I originally had as his accents for his jacket. Because I like that as his when his jacket the most when he comes out of that golden color. And I'll use some grays after that for the rest of the jacket, and we'll color the hair in. And Man, we'll be rocking and rolling with this guy. So far, so good. So, got a great, like, shot here. I noticed, like, man, my screen is really dark here. So, I try to fix something as we're working here. Okay, we have fine. Everything looks good. Looks a little dark. So I might have to edit that. It's something my cat did when he stepped on the damn computer. Genius. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep going. Let's get a little gray. Pick from our color palette, make it nice and dark so we can kind of also fill in some of these edges over here. And you can go ahead and fill these in just by, selection and color dropping, but like, I don't know. I like to do it this way. It makes me feel like I'm doing a little bit different of a color process than most people do, and I like to be different. And like I said, it doesn't really matter per se, because when it prints out, you won't notice it. But the artist always notices it, so it's kind of one of those things where I get a little, I get a little in my own head as far as it goes. So, especially with these boots, man, look at that. It's like white specks everywhere. Alright, little Adam Cole. Let's look for that hair color now. We'll go to orange and we'll find two orange. Dark, but just dark enough, This is really where I'm going to have to play with a couple different brushes to get in with that beard. So the lighter you go, the better it works as well on Procreate. And I'm just blocking in big shapes here because I'm going to go in with a finer brush in just a minute. But you can see we've got our Adam Cole. And I'm going to delete this. Actually, let's turn this layer on. Does it look that bad? Not really. So I'm gonna run with it. And I'm gonna get that crispy white and add some text. I use a marker felt font for ProWrestling Illustrator. Wherever the hell it's gone off to, there it is. Keyboard, please. Thank you. So it's a little tough to see that name, unfortunately. So I might change this anyways. I'm going to make it nice and large. Yeah, let's see how it works. It's not bad. It could use an outline, is what it could really use. So I might play around with that. But I like flat colors a lot. I like a flat surface as we go through here. So the next thing I'll do is yawn because it's been a long day. Let's go back to this layer and fix up some of those browns. And I'm going to grab my dry ink, make it a little smaller, and fix up some of these edges. I might go a little bit bigger than that. I'm going to come in here and just fill this in just lightly. Ever so lightly. Here's a nice cat butt for you, if you can see him. And now he's right in the way. And now he's really in the way. Yeah. I'm live streaming. See that little green dot? It means I'm live streaming, buddy. This is Cacciatore. He's my kitty. Down you go. Back to our friend Nicole. As it were. Could probably also throw some grays in here, and I might do that. Like a little heel gruff. And gave him an inadvertently large forehead. That's okay, it's a cartoon. I'm not one for realism, so if you came here looking for like anything realistic, I'm so sorry, that's not happening here. But I think he is a worthy addition to the rest of the battle here. Let's do something here that I was supposed to do earlier and lace up those boots. We're going to go back to this layer 2. Just putting some X's. Nothing fancy. But it's those little details. Even though I said I was doing something like quick and easy tonight and non-stressful, my day was a long day and I almost canceled this live. But I was like, no, we gotta do this. We gotta show up. Because I want to get this book done. And I just want to do more fan art, honestly. It's fun. So there we go. What I'm also going to do on this layer is grab some white. Give those boots a little shine. And I might like add in some of the logos and stuff later. I'm not 100% sure. There's one thing I want to take a look at. Yeah, dude doesn't really have chest hair that I see. And that was a couple years old. So, man, I'm glad I didn't have to draw that tattoo. Alright. Let's give him some shade and finish this up here. It's about 10 minutes left. So we'll go with this one here. Nope, it's a little too much. I want to change up brushes. Just a little bit below the eyebrow. And a little bit below the nose. And a little bit below there. Also put a little bit of this here, a little cheekbone action going on there. I'll do it over here as well. Get some shadow in. This is really where like life drawing will benefit you if you're like, be like, Zach, how do you know where to put shadows? It's by drawing the human body over and over again and getting the right shadows and the right cats. But I usually have like, depending on like, it's a book is different, right? But I'll usually have a couple of go-to like light sources that I like to use all the time. Let's work in that 6-pack. Why not? He's a wrestler, damn it. Dude, pencil. There we go. Yeah, that's looking good. And it's given just a little bit of shape, a contour shape fade there to his thighs. And something else I want to do. Give a little of this. Do some shading with those yellows. Try to give it a little bit more. It's subtle, but it gives it a little bit more weight to that gear on through here. So I might add some more to this. I might change some things up a little bit. I might add some more color to that, to the hair on there. But this is my Adam Cole fan art and my first fan art Friday. So awesome if you came along live with me. Thank you so much for checking this out. I'm going to show you a quick time-lapse replay of the whole thing. And then we'll talk about what we're doing next on through here. So I'm going to go to video. I'm going to do a time-lapse replay. And it'll show us the whole hour's worth of what we've done up to here. And usually I try to make a community post, but I also make a post on Instagram as well. So I'll be posting these on my Instagram, which is Zak Kinsella, ZakKinsella. And I also have it in the description, so you can find it easily there. I also like to post these time lapses to shorts and to TikToks as well. So you can find it on all these major platforms. And I love drawing. I love making art. So what I want to talk about is like, what are we doing next? Because I think next week I want to do Swerve Strickland and do that as my next Fan Art Friday. But I really would love to know from the communities, like, you know, what do y'all want to see? Like, if you're watching this on the replay, give me a comment. Let me know what you want to see from me as I'm working on cool stuff like Adam Cole, baby. And like, I love doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, DC stuff, Marvel stuff, all the whole 9 yards, honestly. Like He-Man, I love doing the big, bulky Masters of the Universe kind of stuff. So, yeah, I love doing it all. And again, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Hit the bell for notifications. More importantly, if you find somebody that is wanting to be a cartoonist or an illustrator, point them to my channel. If you just want to share this for someone who loves art, point them my way as well too. And let's get out of here, and we'll see you on the next go around. Boom.